Well, it's been a dramatic week in the case involving Chinese politician Xilai, his wife, and the dead British businessman Neil Haywood. Well, the Daily Telegraph says dozens of people with connections to Bo are now under arrest. Well, earlier I spoke with senior Reuters correspondent Chris Buckley about the case that has rocked the Chinese government. In your article, you revealed the alleged motive, and that is that Neil Haywood was poisoned after he threatened to expose a plan by Xilai to move money overseas. Can you elaborate a bit more on that?
Well, this seems to be the account of events coming from the Chinese side, of course, and Mr. Neil Haywood can't speak to those accusations because he's dead. But the Chinese case seems to revolve around the allegations that Xilai was pressing Mr. Neil Haywood to help her move some money overseas. Now, there have been varying estimates of how much money she may have been asking him to move. But it does seem that then there was a dispute between the two of them about the conditions that would attach to him doing that. And the account I heard suggested that he was asking for more than she expected, and that seemed to have precipitated a breakdown in their long-standing relationship.
Chris, can you tell us a little bit about your sources? Obviously not reveal their name, but their involvement with the case.
Not really. What I can say about the sources is in the stories we put out, and we do, of course, make a point of double-checking with multiple sources information, and always with a caveat as well that some of the key players in this drama, the late Mr. Neil Haywood, Xilai and Xilai, none of them are available to speak to us and give their account of these allegations.
Do you know the whereabouts of Xilai at the moment?
As far as I understand, after he was removed as party secretary of Chongqing in mid-March, he never returned there, so I understand he's in Beijing somewhere. Where exactly he is, I wish I could tell you, but I really don't know.
Why do you think it's taken so long for these details to come out? And even then, we're only learning little bits so far.
Well, it is an extraordinary drama, and I can see that some people would find it difficult to believe that the wife of a senior Chinese politician would be involved in the alleged murder of a British businessman. So I think it took some time, first of all, for the police chief of Chongqing, Wang Lijun, who eventually fled to the US consulate, to raise these allegations with Xilai. And that precipitated a whole chain of events which led to these allegations then coming to the attention of the US consulate in near Chongqing, and then also to British diplomats as well. And then it seemed to have taken some time as well for them to absorb these allegations and then to, on the British side, to make them public as well. I think it was only a day or two ago that the British Foreign Secretary William Hague actually formally confirmed for the first time that Wang Lijun, the Chongqing police chief, did take these allegations to the US consulate.
Beijing has made a public statement saying that a thorough investigation will be conducted into the death of Neil Haywood. What do you make of the reaction by the Chinese government to all of this?
For the Chinese government, it's a real hot potato. On the one hand, Xilai, the former party secretary of Chongqing, he was a serious contender for a spot in the next central leadership. He was a popular but contentious politician. Getting rid of him was a sort of a hot potato, as I said, for the Chinese government. On the other hand, the allegations that are emerging about him and his wife, of course, are extremely serious as well. So explaining this whole case to the Chinese public is a very difficult issue for the Chinese government. And then, of course, there's the pressure from the British government now as well. So I think they're trying to work out a way to deal with this issue as quickly as possible. But exactly how to do that, I think, is going to be a real test for them.
Chris, you have just returned from Chongqing. You tried to get access to the hotel where Neil Haywood's body was found. Tell us about your time there and what the locals were telling you.
A lot of local people in Chongqing actually think quite highly of Xilai. There's a lot of criticisms emerging about his campaign against organised crime and the economic policies in Chongqing. But for a lot of ordinary residents there, they felt at least from their perspective, a lot of the benefits of the policies that he put in place. So for them, this whole scandal is quite a shock. You do encounter a lot of people who still think that Bo Xilai is really the victim of a political struggle, and even if these allegations are true, they think they came forward only because of a political struggle. As for this hotel where all I can say is Neil Heywood apparently may have died, actually access there wasn't too difficult. It was very difficult, though, to get anybody, certainly on the record, who would confirm that this was in fact the place where apparently Mr. Neil Heywood may have been poisoned. So it's a very odd place where it was possible to walk around and speak to people, but nobody was actually saying anything that was of much use.